You know, for some players, you just hear one note and you know it's them. So why doesn't that happen for you? You know licks, you know scales, but it all sounds borrowed. And it's usually because you spend more time copying and less time shaping and making things your own. Today I'm going to show you the easiest way that I was able to figure out how to do exactly that and how you can start doing it just as quickly and just as easily. So I'm just going to give you a lick that we're going to use as our example. We're going to take this lick and we're going to pretend like this is a famous lick from a super famous guitar player. And the lick goes like this. Like I said, we're pretending that that lick is a famous lick from a famous guitar player. So let's say we learn that note for note and like, yay, now I can play it just like they do. But by learning this lick and just copying it, it doesn't feel right to actually use it when I'm trying to improvise or create my own solo, right? I mean, it's great to celebrate your influences, but if you're just straight up copying, that's just kind of all you're going to be known as. And that's not to mention, you don't even grow musically when you just copy things. I mean, you're basically a parrot with a guitar. So just like with language, we want to understand the meaning behind the lick, everything that goes on that makes up that lick, and how we can actually twist it for our own purposes, right? This whole thing of making it our own, and the easiest way to get into that. And keep in mind, this isn't going to involve learning any new licks. We're going to take this one lick and show you a way that you can basically dissect it and turn it into a million licks if you want. So dig this. Instead of doing this, right, we'll take all those very same notes that are within that lick and we'll do something called wandering. Basically what wandering is exactly what it sounds like, right? We're just wandering through a certain collection of notes or a pattern of notes like in this lick, and we're just playing them in a random order. So for this, you don't have to worry about doing any of the bends or anything like that. You can just kind of start with like, okay, let me just play some random notes and let's do something like this. Let's see. Whoa, what does that sound like? Sounds like another famous lick. See, this is part of the experiment, right? We're trying stuff out. That's kind of cool. So we're literally just playing random notes. You know, and already the lick sounds way different, right? We're keeping within the neighborhood of all the notes involved in that lick. And just from doing this simple thing like wandering, we're like kind of breaking up how it sounds. So it's already giving us new sort of ways that it can sound. It's inspiring our ears to be like, oh, I wonder if I can do something kind of weird with it, right? I can go like, that's kind of cool. I mean, that sounds different, right? It definitely sounds like something I wouldn't normally play, which is already a good thing because now we're exploring what are some ways that I can sound different and less boring, because like sometimes we just get bored with how we sound. So if we really want to shake it up and make it sound fresh, wandering is a great way to do that. Oh, and by the way, if you're getting value out of this lesson, do me a favor, hit that like button and consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. Now let's keep it going. Let's keep wandering. Let's say, that's pretty cool, right? And you can just wander in any kind of order. I mean, I'm just messing around here. And it's clunky. It's not really, you know, it doesn't sound intentional, but that's the thing is it's breaking up that pattern. It's forcing me out of my habit of just playing it in that one way. So with that information, let's say there's one order that I really like. Let's say I really like doing this, like, that's kind of cool sounding, right? It's tense. So I wanted to do that, and maybe I wanted to turn that into a whole new lick that I can get within that. Let's say I wanted to do. So all I did there was just add a little blues bend in that one note here, and then brought it on home to that root note there. It's cool. It definitely perks the ears because of the tension. It's really cool. And that's just one lick. Let's do another one. Let's say that's kind of cool. And then hitting that last note with some vibrato, you know, to make it sound intentional, like a phrase. And I mean, let's just do one more. Let's do rule of threes. Make it three. Okay, so let's do something like this. I don't know, like I'm literally just messing around here in real time. So I was just kind of going in a weird order. Or what did I do? I forgot already, right? Which actually, it's a good thing that I forgot, because that just kind of shows you I'm in this mode now where I don't want to play the same thing twice, right? And that's good, because ultimately you want to get to the point where you don't sound that repetitive, or you can like play something new each time, right? So let me just kind of make that that last idea a little more coherent, like maybe something like this. That's cool. So all these things, once I like kind of memorize them and just kind of throw them in my trick bag of licks, right? I can start trying them out, experimenting with like, maybe a backing track in the key of A or A minor, try them out over an A blues, kind of see how they work. It sounds a little sophisticated, especially with those extra like diatonic notes that are thrown in, especially that flat 5. So there's a lot of fun colors that we have to work with just with this one lick alone. So the big breakthrough here is when you learn a lick like this, or any lick that you learn forever from now on, right? You can turn it into your own voice just by this one method that we talked about, right? Just by this wandering thing. And that's like step 1. You wander, find random notes, and then when you have a collection of notes that you really like, you store that in your memory banks, right? And then you now try to turn it into a lick, add little things, like make it sound like a phrase. And you can add little things like bends, vibratos, that kind of deal to make it sound more licky, right? I want you to think of it this way. Your sound isn't necessarily found, it's built. So what I just showed you is how you can take a single lick, and this could be any lick that you ever learn, right? Wander through the notes in that lick to create something new, or at least jog new ideas, force new ideas to come out, because honestly, wandering is one of those things where you don't have to think about it. You're just wandering, and then you could stumble on something where you're like, oh, that was cool. I don't know how I came up with that, but I'm glad I did, because now my ear is like, I like that. I want to, let's revisit that, right? And then you could change things like the rhythm of it. And you could turn it into a million licks, and then you could do that same rinse repeat process, and you could pull endless licks out of a single lick that you started with. And that's how you learn to build your sound, because this is you yourself who is going through this journey. No one's telling you play it like this. I mean, in the beginning, you'll play it like how, your favorite guitar player plays that lick, but then from there, no one's gonna tell you how to deconstruct it and turn it into something else. That's all you. And so with wandering, it's the easiest way to do it without having to think. So when someone's like, how do you make it your own? Be like, just wander through it and you'll find something. And this lick is just one example of a million different possibilities that you can explore, especially when you learn how to play in different keys. And if you want a system that'll show you exactly how to play in different keys, and not only that, but play in different keys with confidence and total comfort, you're gonna need what I'm about to give you. It is this right here. What I hold in my hands is your free guide on how to instantly solo in any key. You're gonna learn step by step how to find every key on your fretboard in record time, and then learn how to play in those keys in both major and minor. Imagine the amount of licks you're gonna come up with then. Just be sure to click here to claim your free copy, or check the link that I left for you in the description box, or if you're watching this on TV, go ahead and scan the QR code with your phone. You're now well on your way to developing your own sound instead of sounding like copying or emulating other players. And the moment you get to that point is when you stop playing things the same way twice.